10 years and 10 minutes. Dr. Michael LAITMAN'S review of the past decade. Social networks. Profitable companies that the only thing that interests them is money and not the connection between people like it was at first. And therefore, they became a strong poison that all of society feeds off. And they won't lead us to anything good, but they only hasten the bad times that are up ahead. The media. It's the place of the snake, and therefore the connection between them and crony capitalism is that triangle force that brings calamities upon nations and all of mankind. Fake news. Everyone knows that it's really bad, but they still don't know how to deal with it. Donald Trump, a completely new person that did great things for the Jewish people in the past 10 years, even before he came to power. Sometime we'll break loose of the media and we'll really see the great changes he made in the world because of his special attitude toward Israel. The liberal story. Liberalism really came to an end a long time ago, and instead of it, we have such deviations, distortions, that it's unpleasant to even talk about. But in the name of liberalism, they still want to cover all of those bad things that mankind's doing. Democracy. It's not democracy where the people rule, but it's the rule of the elites over the people in the name of the people. World migration. We don't know how to arrange our planet so that everyone will have a more or less good life wherever you are. But you have places where people are starving to death and places where people are throwing food away. And so migration will continue and it will grow. We won't be able to stop it. And also migration got this kind of distortion that I can come to some country and do nothing there. If it's in order to come and work there, that's something else. But no, they come in order to live there according to their character, their religion, and they demand for their needs to be completely covered for. And because they're coming to democratic countries, then these countries that are taking them in will become like the immigrants themselves. Europe will become like Asia and Africa. And this is how I see its future. The European Union. The European Union is about to crash. It's something that I talked about 10, 20, 30 years ago, because it's also built on the laws of the human ego. And therefore, it's not unity, but it's simply a union of the European markets to the benefit of the rulers, and only. Financial crisis. Money is an equivalent of the effort that a person makes in order to meet his needs. And by financial manipulations, we've reached a state where I can do nothing and earn plenty, and the other way around. It's especially done by computers and by exchanging the value of gold for the value of paper. And all the financial systems will break and shatter, and we'll have to rebuild it if we can. The future job market. 8 billion people. Where in order to feed ourselves with the technologies that we have, we need maybe 500 million people tops. What are we going to do with the rest? What do we need all of these people for? 70 or 80% of the population exists merely in order to exist. We don't need it. Meaning a person has no idea what is he living for and why. So we don't know what to do with people yet. Instead of this, we have to develop the method of education by which we will deliver a person from the work that he's doing, by which he's only destroying the planet and depleting it, and to allow a person to be engaged in building the correct society. The ecological challenge. I'd say that it's the ecological blow. That we're doing all that we can in order to breach the balance, and nature is doing the exact opposite. It's trying to stay in balance, but it no longer can. And what we see are responses that come in the form of natural disasters. And there's still many ahead. And therefore, if we can learn from it, then that would really advance us in a good and nice way. And the opposite that we're seeing now, it's a serious concern to all of us. Terror. Of course, terror will only go and grow because there are many people that are interested in it, and also the governments, they all want to use it in order to determine their control. It's all a play tool in the hands of governments. The rise of Islam. It says in the wisdom of Kabbalah that Islam will cover the entire world until instead of it will come the method of connection, and only it can neutralize Islam and bring all of mankind to the right kind of connection. Antisemitism. This disease will not go away until Jews themselves will understand that it's all in their hands and only, and that they, by their correct behavior, can neutralize this unique inclination that exists in every nation and in all nations towards them. The legalization of drugs. Because people have nothing else to do, and it's boring, and their desires aren't fulfilled, and their thoughts and intentions and everything. And so a person really has a feeling of emptiness that's eating him alive, and so he sees that only by using drugs can he somehow calm himself down until he dies. And therefore, the use of drugs will only go and grow. Education. Education is our only hope. That if we will be able to educate the new generation, then we'll really have some kind of breakthrough from the state that we're in. The state of Israel. The state of Israel will be able to exist only if it will disseminate the method of correction to the entire world. And if not, it'll have to be shut down. We'll simply have to leave this country, and whoever can will leave to other places. The wisdom of Kabbalah. The wisdom of Kabbalah is the only method for the correction of the world, that only by it is it possible to reach the next degree of our perception of reality, where we will feel that we exist in a whole, perfect, and eternal way. 2020. 2020 will be, I hope, a very special year in the evolvement of the wisdom of Kabbalah, in mankind's acknowledgement of this wisdom, that will reach out to mankind and that mankind will come closer to us, so that in our connection we will feel that realm in which we can begin the correction of the world. 2030. In 10 years, I hope to sit here in front of you, and I hope that all of those things that we just talked about, that we'll have the ability to talk about them in a positive way. And I wish us all a good decade.